Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning. December 20th, 2022. December 20, 2022. Now 11 days left. 2022 done. With the jump inside 2023. Now the year that they Sierra Leoneans they wait for. And the year that they people of Sierra Leone know say their salvation and freedom they can. You see, some people, and one thing they tell you now, SLPP they go. Then we all believe that we don't fetch the fetch. We don't tower. We don't team up. We don't talk. We don't write. We don't. Oh man, the world know. SLPP they go. Marabio no fit for purpose. Marabio no for be president again. Now you make na 5-year term. Every president get na salon. That 5-year way done. People they come back. They say okay, now can see by how you work. That's how they vote back. And to God at least the people of Salon will see how they want for register and suffer. They suffer them. Members of parliament go pass NIN number, NACRA. They make them a mandatory requirement. When we say if you don't get NIN, you don't register. When they not for mix the two voter registers them. They not for mix the NACRA register, when the civil register, and the voter register when a neck get that one day. They not forever mix the two. The voter register, it only take account of citizens of Sierra Leone and people when they reach the age of 18, and that for vote. We know that day. We don't explain all the small thing there. But members of parliament go past the NIN. Then disturb with people them. They make people suffer. Young people them for vote. They them for register. Sorry. They them for register. When they go register, they say they need birth certificate. When they go get birth certificate, they carry the blue one, they say no, not the yellow one. They suffer not to come on that country there. We see the verification back. So some people them, and they say all these things here. If we get for pull SLPP, you know so we no more with the people that we don't talk. We get for able for vote. But what's happened? 250,000 names deleted from the voter register. Then delete over 250,000 names. That's now almost 250,000 people. Over 250,000 people. Then delete them. If we get for pull Marabio, then people are for vote, for vote. How they pull Marabio? Now the members of parliament and come in for stand up to this year. So I hate this question. Some of my brother and sister they mean well. Hey Ibrahim, comrade, well, when I not say election, they can now, when I left the members of parliament, them not focus on the government. How would they focus on the government when the members of parliament were for lead the fight, not a lead the fight for we? How we go see, we get a member of parliament, them, then they go to ECOWAS parliament for go represent Sierra Leone, where international community, other members them of parliament at the ECOWAS, they want for know what's happening in Sierra Leone, then they demand answers in Sierra Leone. And then we are members of parliament, the way they represent me at the opposition, they don't show up, they're not there. When they call them, they don't take flights, they don't run back out of salon. They don't kick. The leader of the opposition, not the day. Like when they send picking go school, no one go school. When sabi them, when they kick na school, no one day. When they say go school, I go land, they begin kick. You know, the hour where people want for let they answer questions. You know, we not want to talk, we not ever get them for go deep into that particular conversation day. Because we got issues that were important. Today, we don't even get an apology or an explanation from the leader of the opposition. Some people, now then here we talk for safe with democracy get for advance. We the people get for demand apologies and we get for demand statements from these leaders them. When a leader misbehave that kind of way misbehave, no other person they work in any institution we go misbehave so. When they send her for go do work, a commodity not do the work way for do, they will kind of for explain to your employer them. Oda employ Cherry Coco of the APC, Oda employ him, Oda get a job for in the parliament. Now Una the salon people them. So if you say this man, then they fet the parliament for PR system in order day. They say so I go they say go ECOWAS. The same man, they say okay, they ECOWAS eh. When ECOWAS now they ask question, they want for know what's in the happen. Why do I use PR system? Why they kill people in August 10th? Then demand answers. They want for hearing from the leader of the opposition now. Yang. You know, some people. So today we'll go inside this ECOWAS parliament situation back small. Because see, if you like for say, we want to try for avoid that situation, we want for move on. Now talk about issues that they affect with people when they get for vote. Where we see the verification process, how people no thousands. Yesterday we talked about the former first lady, Misia Kuruma, in them go for Mpong na Kailaun. All the problem in the day, instead of they focus on those issues, let the leader of the opposition, especially of the APC, come out and apologize to Salon people, explain to the grassroots of the APC, Usa Ebide, what's the emergency way get, Uda die, what's the burying, and what's happening, so what this man wait for the ECOWAS the other day. You know, come record before I begin play the audio because today we can play series of audios for now. Before I begin, comrade, you got anything you want to say first before I go inside deep?
Exactly, Ibrahim. Good morning. Ibrahim, fellow Sierra Leoneans, you know, who they tell people and say, we would affect this pet, we they look at every angle, meaning the angle for President Bio and the one that we be say na abitasm when the aid. Because one of the things for let you take note of somebody where the aid government, you have for critically smart before you understand them. The actions of people then can tell you exactly what's in the person plan, Ibrahim.
Absolutely.
You know, the ECOWAS thing from what happened, we just from the first day we'll talk, but we'll talk generally. We'll keep quiet because we will wait and foresee the actual statement of the opposition based on the questions where the foreign MPs and pick based on the report. Because we think out this debate now, two countries they will talk about now Liberia and Sierra Leone. Now the ECOWAS Parliament, you know, for this trip when they read the report about what's happening. They go for people they go for listen, they audios them about how they read Liberia and Sierra Leone based on the report they read, the honesty. They even put a plainly they saying that them for hope let the Salon delegation copy from Liberia within the rights because them put in a sincere manner from the election everything. Remember how we own election, then go na ECOWAS Parliament where they left this problem of 250,000 people enforced where the next day then they pull them where they say the double registers on the underage now na 250,000. Then go na ECOWAS Parliament without measuring this tier. Then go to ECOWAS Parliament without telling the ECOWAS Parliament say even the registration was not done properly. Then go to ECOWAS Parliament without reporting say the neck not able show the actual player we register by district, by region, by centers. Then go to ECOWAS Parliament without talking about the corruption of $10 million. The neck not do. You know, and so many things that Ibrahim they not put up by the report better than the beautiful part of the government. If you notice, Mohamed Tunis they talk. The good thing President Biron do, that they present. So when they don't present Ibrahim, they forget see now in a global world, what's happening in Nigeria, we are happy. What's happening in UK, accept people that's happening in Africa, talk less now. So the ECOWAS people and more neighbors and the liberal people, and they become GT. They say, oh, now and they close neighbor, and it's happening in a salon, Liberia, and it's happening in Liberia salon. No. Then when they talk to a lie. So one Nigeria MP first come up, Ibrahim, we make this convention they can talk so, we make. We are OPC, them and know they ever represent too well. Una they go Ibrahim. People who know the salon, now they go talk about salon, pass Una on Aditi. The entire delegation, we go na 5, they all fail with, but why would they ever blame the SLPP or that independent of SLPP? We form independent because then the young Ukraine go for good for defend the backing of the government, talk fine. The opposition will have the responsibility for say no, we don't agree. How now we report when we say the report so beautiful for President Bio when I left for put the ugly things in. Evo Ibrahim. It just start like say and now the talk and now you write bad report about President Bio. If you look critically, if something okay, one time we say okay. Then we go to talk about the education. We say the only thing we make now free quantity, not to free quality. The free quantity is okay, but not to free quality education gets. You don't understand it? So how now we write a report Ibrahim? Talk about education, fine, and then talk about the constraints of people in na salon. How much parents they pay at school? So now because of the level of hypocrisy of who MP system where them go, especially the opposition party, which I belong to, where them go with the left salon deliberately say them they go to represent salon. The same way they try for pass this unprecedented PR system as salon, where we say the people are not agree for them, but the MP they support the parliament. Now they say the go present to case. Where the case reach out, madam, they say get emergency we can attend to. Ibrahim, who's can pattern and as they call rook call the inside parliament, for can't talk now they say don't fly can get emergency we can attend to. Well now they can discuss, but we need to talk to them much. The audios then go the explanation. Una listen and who they support individuals. Umogaju life. If you listen this audio, you listen then presentation from before the people you don't learn nothing. Meaning you're not fit for purpose. That's the start question practice. Meaning you don't like yourself. You don't to yourself. You don't like You don't like so they come after you because suffering, brainwash mentality for NRS alone. Now because 2023, the decisive time for Sierra Leone. Now in the make or break Salon Ibrahim.
Absolutely, sacrosanct fact, comrade. You know, comrade, when you and not just at a play. This is shameful. This is disgraceful. This is pathetic. This is sad. You know, Section 13B of the Constitution. Sierra Leoneans, they want to uphold. Every citizen shall cultivate a sense of nationalism and patriotism so that your loyalty should lie to the state, not to your politician, not to your section, not to your region, not to your tribe, not to any other loyalties. That's what the Constitution say. Until we imbibe that day and think about the betterment of Sierra Leone, to God, that is the only go before. How on half? I play that video first. Let people listen, and I will not be analyze this thing properly. And I make them bored, then they cry in a corner. Now continue. I play this video first.
Sierra Leone report is beautiful, but we also hear stated here that there's a major dispute as to representation and how the election will be done. It's obvious. If you speak with one Sierra Leone delegate or two, they will tell you that the political situation they are going towards the election is unstable. There's no need for we to hide anything from each other here. If we in Nigeria discover that there will be no free or fair election, of course we'll say it out. Because if we say it out and ECOWAS intervenes, it's helping us. But if we know that there's something that could create problem in the country, and then we come here and sit down and say there's nothing, and something happens, we have lost two countries. So
a situation where police are entering parliament to make sure that there is a decorum in parliament means that that country political situation is not stable.
After the August 10 incident, I think that statement need to be rethink and maybe restated, because we know just a few weeks ago there was a situation at the parliament where parliament member had to point, and like my colleague said, security personnel had to come in. I'm sure we don't want to consider that kind of situation as saying that security situation is stable.
I think there's a great situation, and this parliament must send a fact-finding mission to Sierra Leone to investigate this major violation. It's not the first time, it's not the second time, it's the third time. The second issue in Sierra Leone is that less than a year to election, Sierra Leone is still trying to change the electoral law. They're still trying to change the election law to work in the favor of the ruling establishment. I think it's quite alarming, and maybe the Sierra Leone delegation need to speak to this again.
On the issue of the election law, the head of delegation was not mentioned this.
You know, comrade, everyone pause that side where that guy they say, I'm sure the delegation needs to speak on this. When me say they want for you from waiting the opposition get for say, but I continue.
That 1 year to the election, you are trying to change the election law. It's not just the law; it's changing the system, where the law obviously affects the system. Now the system is trying to bring into place a proportional representation, but for the short of my political life, proportional representation is done where there are no defined electoral boundaries. And the law of the delegation of Sierra Leone can bear me out of this. If whatever their law say, I will be willing to listen to them. How do you want to move to a proportional representation when there are clearly defined political boundaries, when there are clearly established political constituencies, but yet you want to move to proportional representation as though there are no laws and order? The last time I remember there was proportional representation in Sierra Leone was when the war had just ended. There were no system, there were no laws. I think they did that. Similar thing happened in Liberia, but after recovery now, after all these years, how come you want to move to proportional representation when there are clearly defined political constituencies?
Thank you, comrade. This video done. Salon people, I want to listen. When I see these members of parliament na ECOWAS, the world na small village now, comrade. I don't know if Kashi don't join me, comrade. The world, beautiful. The world na small village, comrade. Kashi, the world is a small village. Then guy they listen to we advocacy system. They listen to social media because no, these other members of parliament, no, they ever come out and talk about these things here, the issues there. If then guy not be do the research, they don't even know about NTIO what they talk about. So this particular guy when they talk about say Liberia then self use the PR system. But like I say, we not talk about except if comrade and Kashi will say something, but this small video I play, and then we can move on to the next segment. Let's play the next audio.
Ibrahim Butasu say, ultimately would the Christian they do then here. But what people understand for say this work could do a double work because not all man will listen all them to the place so. So if you don't understand, if the people who then go to ECOWAS Parliament, if they represent you or they misrepresent you, because now two representatives get together, Ibrahim will get proper representation, they will get misrepresentation.
Absolutely.
If the people like you come on a salon, take salon money, pay for them, buy tickets, feed them, go lodge in a hotel, then go make a very beautiful report. Then fail for point out things that we make foreign MPs them, who neighbors them, the ECOWAS members stay there, become worried, they say, this report where they are so not to interfere at the ground. If we not interfere now, we don't say problem happen, meaning we not do well because the ECOWAS get a right for intervene early before problem happen. We now in make the can't talk plenty as to do. So Lord and notice for us now double for let people and sit down. They listen 4 hours conversation, they begin record. All day cash box, they and nothing, they follow the pick no more. People to for me people understand because we play the entire 4 hours. Because we play the entire 4 hours, if we tell us people them expose just one thing they get in there. Don't know say we know they can't made up stories. They analyze the issues them.
Absolutely.
Because we don't people analyze the issues them. We can they do proper analysis. Now we could be left this year with the fix a problem or be look seeking something that they really no matter what are mistake or misbehave starting way. Now even play with nothing happen, Ibrahim, because they want for play with intelligence. They were then they abuse with intelligence that's alone. Them politicians they're so smart that then people are stupid. They say all of us at this 21st century for let abuse with intelligence, for let you go, then can't say hey Jericho nails the SLPP government. If you cannot join him, that is an insulting statement to Sierra Leoneans. But we know the support Jericho, no Jericho is on Aleko. Una not like him, then are forced to start because anybody supports him and bad, will not like you.
Absolutely.
If you're able to tell the person, say, even you, Papa, if you're able to say, Papa, that this thing will do so, you know, right? Moral courage. If una like him, una for fair way, for let's say, and then una not can insult with intelligence Ibrahim Cashbox because it's an insult. How people them will write then go pay that then then these people the last say something Ibrahim. Salon gets I don't know if that cost on our thing. People if you the right now these people that front page you say owe an apology to the Prof.
Absolutely.
Because if you don't listen, if you don't able to understand what's happening at the ECOWAS Parliament, before you go right in there, you write you trash. This money, they not take anything money. These people are not making on the front page for money.
Cover it.
If you pay them,
no continue.
They put fancy for you at the front page.
No continue. No continue.
Brian,
yes, sir.
See, like waiting comrade they talk. So good morning, by the way.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Waiting comrade they say so. Ibrahim, waiting I hate. Beat me if you want beat me. Slap me if you want slap me. Curse me if you want curse me. But for make you look full grown man where they read and write, listen, understand, waiting people and they say, you want insult me intelligence. No, Ibrahim, that is kind of like way it's below the belt. You really, salon politicians, they don't put the people and keep them poor, keep them uneducated, keep them like in a subdued position, and then when they keep them that way, they use them back how they want them. Like what you can come with it talk so. How on earth you journalist get mind put a caption that you stupid dirty newspaper say Cherikoko nails the SLPP government na ECOWAS? How? Look, speaker upon speaker. And Ibrahim, I don't know if you play that side where Mohammed Sidi Tunis they reply to the questions about the August 10. Mohammed Sidi Tunis they talk say the people that when they beg October 17 or so, if not that day when they beg them, it's they give them befitting funeral. But yet still you see these MPs, the Liberian MP, they ask a question, say, where the families given the right for them to bury their loved ones. They want the delegation for give answer to that. What did some people expect from Mohammed Sidi Tunis say? Of course he's going to say yes. Who that's for me say the fact, who that's for say the truth. Ibrahim, this lady Veronica, Honorable Veronica also, can you say, make mention say,
Cherry Coco was part that they write the report. It was part of the report. He kind of like now part of the people that went do the report, Ibrahim. The woman said it. And you remember the first time we talked about this, and I made mention and say, Cherry Coco being part of the delegation must be privy to waiting that report they say. And this now prior to the time when we know say he is the leader of the delegation.
Yeah.
And we kind of like maybe actually understand and say maybe it was waiting Veronica Kalisi said tell me say like it was part of the, and then it goes to the speaker, then it gets your input and all that thing. And when you listen to like and the Liberian MP, he thanked the Nigerian MP or so, the Gambian MP, he thanked the Liberian MPs them for stating the fact. He said the report was factual because he told them go Liberia, everything when they inside the report, now waiting to actually go see where they go to Liberia. Another MP say they go salon for go see like the speaker of the parliament. He said like they don't even meet the speaker even when they get appointment, the speaker not able to see them, Ibrahim. All of these things, Cherry Coco was part. So Cherry Coco, when you sit down and write about like the burial where happened of Evangelist Samson, you saw the report, you know what's in the report. Before that, you condone the lie, you condone it, you add the SLPP. You know, Ibrahim, Honorable Veronica said something. He said, there is no heart to find the man's construction in the face. In other words, Ibrahim in the trial, I think this was like a Macbeth quotation. I think like people when do literature was quoted by King Duncan, where they talk about the level of betrayal. This is not like a saying in the book of Macbeth, where you talk about the level of betrayal.
Yep.
He says there is no art to find the man's construction in the face.
Absolutely.
Because the face can be deceiving, Ibrahim. This is what this woman quotes, Ibrahim.
Absolutely.
How can we sit by with a watch? Cherry Coco, they say the ones from the delegation can't explain to them. If the families were given the right for burying their loved ones, where was Cherry Coco and Honorable Manley Spain? Ibrahim, you know what? Slap me, curse me, beat me if you can, but do not insult my intelligence.
No way.
That is one thing, do not play with me. I said, we're not big fool.
No.
We're not idiots. We know that we left when we right. Come on, Ibrahim.
Absolutely.
This is utter disrespect.
It is.
This is utter disrespect.
It
and
is.
It is very painful.
It is painful. It is painful, my brother. Kashi, let's continue. But by the way, Kashi, we just begin the analysis of the video. Then the first one I play, so we can begin play the other audio then now. I can play the second one back. I can play the second one. Let's allow people to listen for themselves now this time. We'll not go deep inside this. All right, we'll continue there.
Countries, that is Liberia and Sierra Leone, for the meticulousness. Having said that, Honorable Speaker, it takes me to the Liberian country report. On page 2, they reported that the NEC requested no objection on both occasions from the PPC to award contract for the supply of biometric system equipment to the EKMP, and the PPC has rejected to do so, stating that they do not have the requisite experience. I want them to make clarity on that. Someone having won a contract to supply electoral materials, other institution rejecting that. So what are the powers vis-a-vis who does what and how, and what is the status quo?
Then in Liberia, they talk about first of all. Let us see Liberia, then they report about the panky game that we neck they play. Now Liberia, let's continue. Now Liberia, you know, listen. We don't understand why this one thing, all thing come out. Now listen.
And secondly, also, they did mention something on page 10, reporting on environment issues, but they also lamented on the issue of activity in the forestry sector, subsector, was established to increase to 2.1% in 2022. But if you also look at it also, they also report an increase in the log and timber production, and in addition to charcoal wood production. these are contradicting. Are they fighting towards climate green environment, or does it have law of banning charcoal production? Is there any law that really discourages this? We would like to know.
Okay, then back to Liberia, and they talk about the forestry, the timber logging, and all that stuff. And this na Sierra Leone report. We not even put nothing. We remember the $250 million where Lara Telopias be supposed for report. First they be say $5 billion when thief for timber. Where Babadi Kamara when I know the Amara beyond timber man. That Sierra Leone report you not even need it, but this is a Liberia report. We now continue now. They can switch to Sierra Leone. We listen.
So these are the two questions I have for Liberia. And as for Sierra Leone, we want them to elaborate on what do they mean by the block district system. What does it entail? How is that conducted? Hence, there has been a census being conducted, but they're not going by that. Rather, they're going by the district block system. What is the arrangement? If you win, what percentage do you collect, or what is the entire system? And secondly, also on page 3, it's been reported that on the 17th of October 2022, a funeral ceremony was held for the victim of August 10 violence unrest. The government provided funds for each family to have the funeral rites. The victims were laid to rest in a separate graves in Bolima Cemetery, Waterloo. We want to also know whether there has been any opportunity created to make sure that the victim family deserve or given the rights to come and bury their own people. Has there been any avenue created to give back the bodies to the families of victims for them to be laid to rest? We're interested to know that. That is my question to the delegation. And I will stop here and give others the opportunity. Thanks so much.
Okay, comrade, Tashi, salon people them. Unayeri, August 10 protest, and beyond August 10, people that were then killed and massacre. Where people in the cry say, "Una give we loved ones them, una give we picking them, we want go bury them." Evangelist Samson in West they cry for a man. Lawyer Lanzana Dubuya write letter upon letter, go to the mortuary. The government said they invite families for come, identify the loved ones them, then seize the dead body them, then go bury them. 30 days people don't know side their family loved ones them, their life, who side them bury them. They don't know side them body day. Now they tell them this guy they ask the parliament now for the honorable Cherry Coco before can defend una salon people them. Una lost una loved ones they were then killed for nothing. Buff answer for now. That's why they buff for now. But we'll get justice when the time is right. Honorable Chernoba, suppose before Canada you can't defend and talk about these things. All we think Cashbox we don't brush and go over. But now continue, we get more audio for una. Now play this audio them. Now listen for ourselves. Now una go analyze this. If this man go represent una for 2, then newspaper article how they write that nonsense there. Una go analyze if that's so it be. Una be one touch this year, but we go inside deep today.
No, because if I know you don't want to touch them, but we be tell people so we want to see honesty of people them.
Absolutely.
You know, like what Cashbox say for insult to intelligence to this level, Ibrahim the world now global world, it didn't all by palm. You go say say we not be careful in the no they know that Ibrahim now make now not only they talk much, let the audio and let the ECOWAS Parliament speaks for itself. Now una decide.
Absolutely.
Una they go support person than una future, because if you support wrong thing, you don't destroy your future. Not to you no more, because as Kimanda music say we own them don't pass, but picking them or just say to born the one they can inherit the worst. Because I tell you, Ibrahim, this level of salary don't make another generation. Salon is finished.
Bad. Now continue with Veronica now. Let Unaka Yeri we Cashbox will mention Veronica. The lady way, of course, in represents SLPP at the delegation at ECOWAS Parliament. Now I read the report. We matter of fact, Cherry Coco delegate up. For read the report. When honorable Cherry Coco before if you read the report, una listen to Veronica waiting self for saying I wanna listen to her.
Thank you very much. Madam Speaker, I want to throw line to say thanks to those who commended us in the presentation. Of course, the Speaker has answered most of the questions, and my honorable members has touched on the question that I had wanted to dwell on. talking about this gender thing. But let me draw your attention. Honorable Snow was giving a ratio about the members of parliament that we have, the delegation. Yes, he's correct. 2 SL, 2 opposition, 2 ruling, and 1 independent. But let me tell you that all these reports was done by all of us. All of us. That is, in fact, the reason why we are late to submit. Because it was scrutinized by the leader of delegation, was the opposition. So he has an emergency. That's why he's not here. And of course, we have heard from Honorable. Well, the man, there's no act to find the man's construction in the face. The man decided to go, we don't know. So they are in the best, Honorable was there. He's in the best position to answer. But as far as I'm concerned, if you are not pleased with the report or whatever, instead of walking out, it is your place to go and sit. Then you make your comments. Then they will take note of that. So I don't think if that is prudent here that 2 people went out, that the oppositions are not there. It's just unfortunate because they are not here. But the leader of delegation is part of this report. He gave it his blessings and he made his own comments and he took it to the speaker. He made his own input and he took it to us. We made our own inputs and it was then presented. So we are all in it together, Mr. Honorable. So talking about the others have been answered. Well, I want to thank my sister Gabriela.
Okay, salon people, Lemonayeri. Una leader of the opposition, na in a part of the people, let me write this report. This beautiful report. Una listen for now, understand what they talk for. Say the report's beautiful. When the Liberian people and they say, this report here, that Nigerian ECOWAS Parliament, when I listen to what they say, this report is beautiful, but now talk about it in the Aba. Now we see where una leader of the opposition, Honorable Chenoba, sell salon people them out. When I listen to this part here, quick number, short one, when I listen to this part.
Sierra Leone report is beautiful, but
Sierra Leone report is beautiful. Una de yeri, the report's beautiful. When we say all the bad things that will happen. The August 10, we then kill people and massacre people. Beyond August 10, then they go and fire people in a street, kill them body, then they kill them, evangelist something them, Sierra Leoneans them. That Pekin would then kill a PWD under when they cook for a family, then shoot them from the back. The Pekin die cold-blooded. That Pekin all then seize them body, them go bury them. 30 days the families don't know. Honorable Cheriko consider the report. He reviewed the report. He said the report fine.
The fact is that Nigerian MP was being sarcastic because you remember what he said.
Yes.
He said he said the reason we make military then can they take over now because of like them the politicians and they do the right thing.
Thank you.
He said that anything where they happen a country, he even give example to Nigeria. Say if something they happen in Nigeria, they need to voice them out so ECOWAS go step in.
Absolutely.
The guy was. You know, hey God, anyway, carry on, man.
Kashi, at the beginning now, the other series of audios coming. At the beginning of the series now, we Kashi record. At the beginning now. Now, Yagi, salon people now go make an analysis for yourself. When I listen to this.
As for Sierra Leone, we want them to elaborate on what do you mean by the block district system. What does it entail? How is that conducted? Hence, there has been a census being conducted, but they're not going by that. Rather, they're going by the.
I don't play this side first. Like continue this side.
No, Ibrahim. Before you continue, what to the self people, Ibrahim? They say if there is no enemy within you, the enemy with the outside no get nothing for you, Ibrahim.
Absolutely.
Until you get enemy with the within you, and only on with you understand. So get enemy with you, Ibrahim. That make the military or revolutionaries then go into the joke. Betrayer, somebody with a betrayal or the army aid and abetting that commercial offense because the most danger thing not get enemy within we the lays with the enemy outside now because the only Ibrahim the salute politics now enemy there within the opposition and the aid government and Babati now what they see so now. There's no way would they win this fight without not trying for win the one that basis. I will point out say this is action one distress alone.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now continue.
Thank you for yielding the floor to me. As members of ECOWAS Parliament, we are supposed to see early warning signs of the political situation. They saw it in Guinea and a host of other places, and they couldn't take any action, and the military struck. You find out that each time the military strikes is because of the shortcoming of we, the politicians. From the two reports presented, I take on Liberia first. On the, let's see.
You know, see this guy, they talk critical point. Say early warning signs. If we see them here with the bad, we they cover them. Why we for cover them? They take on Liberia first. No go.
The 2023 presidential legislative election. In other words, the World Bank and other international bodies are reporting that there is an unstable political situation that could affect elections in Liberia. I think this parliament should take it up with heads of state and let them send a delegation to go and see President of Liberia and other politicians there. The danger of not doing that is that when this unstable political situation gets worse, the military could take over. And then in ECOWAS parliament will be short of one more person.
All right. Now continue.
The report is beautiful. But we also hear, stated here that there's a major dispute as to representation and how the election will be done. It's obvious. If you speak with one Sierra Leone delegate or two, they will tell you that the political situation they are going towards the election is unstable. There's no need for we to hide anything from each other here. If we in Nigeria discover that there will be no free or fair election, of course we'll say it out. Because if we say it out, and ECOWAS intervenes, it's helping us. But if we know that there's something that could create problem in the country, and then we come here and sit down and say there's nothing, and something happens, we have lost two countries. So I think we need to look at the political situation is in Liberia and Sierra Leone, as reported by the two papers. Thank you very much.
Now continue.
Unfortunately, in most of our countries in the sub-region, we have issues of politics coming to interfere with the smooth conduct of national census. Some of the problems identified here are also ranging from corruption to inefficiency and to lack of political will of the political leaders to ensure that the process is conducted in a manner that will be seamless. And I think this is very worrying, especially given the fact that national census in most of these countries are also supported by development partners, from around the world. And a few reports that are available on the preparation for the census in Liberia, in trying to present, the problem as it is to us. And I think as be able to lend our voice to calling on all concerned to take proactive measures to ensure that the conduct of the census is not mad with with these problems. The second issue I want to talk about in Liberia also more of a recommendation trend of trying to entrench more women participation in decision making. On Sierra Leone, Mr. Speaker, I'm also concerned about the political stability in Sierra Leone. And I want to say that in the countries in West Africa today, it appears to me to be one of the most worrisome because of the reports that come out, especially with regards to management of intra and inter-party conflicts. Mr. Speaker, there was a reference to the August 10th and the measures that happened after them, but there was a specific reference to the establishment of a panel of inquiry. Maybe that was not the exact word used, but a panel that was supposed to investigate the causes of the August 10th protest and try to also look at culpabilities, if any, and bring out measures to prevent such. Unfortunately, we do not have an indication that process has been completed. August to December is such a long time, and the elections are just close by. I want to know what time frame exists for that panel of inquiry and how all-encompassing is that panel of inquiry, how inclusive is it of members of the opposition, especially in ensuring that whatever reports come out of it is acceptable to all.
And finally, like my colleague also said, the issue of the conflict we had in the Sierra Leonean Parliament on the debate concerning the amendment of the law to ensure that based on proportion, to entrench proportional representation. Just that happened just a couple of days ago, that we had a very major brawl on the floor of the Parliament in Sierra Leone. I want the delegation to please throw more light on this, and how well are they also able to solve the problems surrounding this, to ensure that whatever amendment of the law happens in good time before the actual elections. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. Honorable Speaker, let me join my colleague, thank the two countries, that is Liberia and Sierra Leone, for presenting their report. I would actually start with Liberia. Honorable Speaker, I would thank the Liberian delegation for actually giving us exactly what is happening in their country, especially the political and the security situation. If the Honorable Speaker can remember, recently there was a delegation to Liberia, which I was among. And then it seemed that exactly we met with most of the stakeholders, especially the political parties. And actually, I'm preempting the report, but the information we gather from those political parties is exactly what the Liberian delegation reported. Then therefore, as the Honorable Member from Banjul said, it is actually an early warning, and then an ECOWAS definitely need to take a step. I was part of the delegation. We met the political parties, but actually it was a very, very, very tense discussion. When they are talking, you know that there is something in their mind. So we must be very careful with Liberia. On Liberia, before I go to Sierra Leone, on the functioning of the government official, on your last paragraph, you said they resign from their respective posts, and the investigation had not been completed. It is because of that they resigned, the investigation stopped, or it is in progress? Then on your microeconomic situation also, I can see you have reported in metric tons, both on rubber and other products, but you did not report in metric tons when it comes to cereals, and cereals are very important. Then on Liberia situation, Honorable Speaker, reading from the first paragraph to the third paragraph, tell us that the political situation in Sierra Leone is not stable. You see, I think, as I mentioned earlier, it could have been done the way the Liberian delegation did, to tell us exactly what is happening in that country.
Awesome.
A situation where police are entering parliament to make sure that there is a decorum in parliament means that that country political situation is not stable. So I think Liberia and Sierra Leone definitely need to come and then tell us exactly what is the political situation in this country, because they are heading election by next year. Thank you.
Awesome. I think that audio is the perfect way for now we end the audio's play for now. There is more audio for play, but we'll wait for Yeri back, and then we'll continue with this conversation. Comrade Koita Cashbox, the final question. They say they want to get some clarity into actually what is happening. You know, na salon, then Yeri from the delegation. They want for Yeri from the delegation. That is the last audio we'll play now. Would that be for represent Sierra Leone properly? Now the SLPP Veronica? Would that be for represent Sierra Leone properly? Now the Honorable Sama, Shaka Sama? Would that be for represent Sierra Leone properly? Now Siri Tunis? Would not even play Siri Tunis, you don't say it. When they talk about the lie, say the August 10th victims them, and people when they kill beyond August 10th, they get befitting funeral. Would not even reach that side of it. But this is for only the people for making an analysis. Some people already kind of have because, you know, now witch hunt and this and that. No! All we know is Sierra Leone for be a better country. And the way Salon for be a better country. Now when people never get responsibilities and they roll them, then take them very seriously. And until we get people take their roles them very seriously, Salon is not going anywhere. And we get for whole leaders them accountable. Go ahead, comrade.
Ibrahim, now we are order they pay for position. Or na order tell me brother they perfect for position na Salon.
Thank you.
Or na order tell me papa they perfect for position na Salon. For sure they perfect this possible because here me brother they compete. Or men to they compete. Or here me papa they compete for one position. No, nobody. We be see we the come for position. We be see now we low sleep. No, Ibrahim. But we try for today here until we try for elect sincere people in our position. I don't tell that see if you matter about this in government, no learn nothing for take insincere politicians. Give them position of trust. We're not ready for moving to Ibrahim because what the SPM count na lie them be embark on. Then can't lie for the people of Sierra Leone. Talk all kinds of things. Safari say we solve the butter issue. We will fix the economy in 6 months. Madam Bioka, me say rest don't go 200,000. Then go put on down fear don't go 6,000. They put on dollars from 3,500 to 7,000. Then they can put on down now. The president na this place where he for Singapore. He say if we not take the ablest then we appoint them, we take jokers they will put in a position, then we not ready for it. And Salon, we not look at the Equals Parliament is into jokers them. The delegations they are jokers, Ibrahim. How we not go the speaker of Equals Parliament because of in SLPP. If they talk the beautiful thing there, they don't make an SLPP. If see report and we the nose they say remember how the scrutinizer report the. They say the scrutinizer. If I'm not imagining if I'm a scrutinizer, I was kind of putting it for wrong. So if we not can do sincerity, no problem. Yeah.
When you listen to Mohammed Sidi Tunis, he emphasized say Salon now one of the most peaceful and stable country there. He said, then I say, he don't go say at the world. He said, but in West Africa, he say, he emphasize say one political detainee they don't get na Salon. Ebo, Ibrahim, you see this now abuse that they abuse we now. Where was Jerry Coco for mention Kamarimba? Where was Jerry Coco? Where was Jerry Coco for talk about when Mohammed Sidi Tunis they talk, he say the situation at APC, he said that intra-party issue, not to inter-party. He said the government don't get nothing, no hands into it. Ibrahim, where was Jerry Coco for talk about the way Samura Kamara in case they go, the way APC case they go, where Fisher they play with her? Ibrahim, you see, some of them think they are seriously. I can always tell people, and I don't care what people think of me. If me, now being soldier man, where now their country they are always and say like Asabi fly plane, Ibrahim, and they do waiting Rollins do na Salon. I'm telling you, because some of these things that we hear people in the talk about, this Mohammed Sidi Tunis was the very man. Tip when money was king, no deal. Then buy motor car for him. We show the evidence to Salon people. Then he make it 60th birthday party. We see Jerry Coco go up skin, they dance with this guy. We see the Keke White, they dance with this guy. They all sit on they dance, they play with Salon people in life, Ibrahim. And then this guy, they get mind for tell we say, Salon will get one political detainee. He says Salon now the most peaceful country. They beg their people they give them befitting funeral, Ibrahim.
We'll check the 2022 report. 2018, Salon have been the third peaceful country in Africa, second in West Africa. Today, we now the 8th peaceful country in Africa, the 8th. Imagine from the third. We see now we are the most from the third. We are the 8th peaceful country in Africa, second in West Africa. So they will not eat.
This is painful. This is painful. And the fact that you get newspaper, people are being bought. Not only the government don't capture institutions, but the opposition them when no one make them be exposed, they've captured evil institutions. The opposition are part of the people and when they capture institutions that are considered. The journalists have been bought even by the opposition. The right you get mine for puts that you caption. You do take newspaper. Say Jerry Coco can nails the SLPP government. Una na God go pay una. Now God go alaki una. God na go swear una. Anything una they ask for no get on this world. The way una they get Salon people them. This is painful.
It is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. and you know, you see, Kashi, we have to be waiting salon people for look at now responsibilities and get for take very seriously. You see, the African mindset, the typical African, and we're not blame with brothers and sisters in Paris one because the society is not really built that way. For let people understand even the value of time. You know how people manage their time. It is not there. Let alone taking their responsibilities very seriously. The society, because of the way we did, now they make them can't share their happiness. So the leaders them, we get the responsibility for imbibe a good culture, a good work ethic into the with citizens them. If then they behave this way, we then give them work for do. They not take their jobs them very seriously. If you say opposition leader, yes, we can talk about kind of line technique. We can talk about criticism. What kind of say? Constructive criticism. Constructive criticism. Yes.
Yeah.
You know, so whatever form constructive criticism get for take. So God in this day, it get for be factual, it get for be the true and nothing but the true. Honorable Cherry Coco gets an opportunity for go defend the people and we lost their lives. If this guy, he valued people in life, this man, he really angered, it vex for where the government they go against. You know, yesterday we bring Brother Collabo, we talk now. We talk and go talk and come Kashi. I'm telling you, if you get a serious opposition, it empower these other groups and communities that warfare within ourselves, especially civil society organization. If we get serious opposition leaders them, so God, see civil society organization, you say, my man, I left behind Paris for let me join bar. They don't say too much, what you have to do as civil society. But when you look at the top rungs, the people away for actually hold this position, hold the fort, hold the defense down, for protect the lives of Sierra Leoneans, generations here unborn. They don't take their job them very seriously. Like what Honorable Cheriko could go show Sonaya. We see that woman self. And so, you know, the SLPP, hey God, they really expose this guy, man. Because not only for all the
time. You know the thing is like just like yesterday. I think you sent a video where they sentenced them people in August 10,
yes.
Protesters.
Yeah.
They sentenced them.
They still sentenced them.
Ibrahim, when Mohammed Sidi Tunis they talk, he say how the protesters they use gun, the video days,
yes.
Gun, machetes. He see the old gun, then they attack policeman. Hey Ibrahim.
You know what Cheriko could do so?
Cheriko for kind of like say this is not true. Where was this guy? Your mind, Mohammed Sidi Tunis boldly they talk say the guys them all gone, Ibrahim. You know, but one thing when they fail for realize when you say these things that citizens then get gone now an African nation. Now it makes Salon de Alakiso. Because when they lie, when they forget the other ramifications of the things they say. Because any country where citizens and get
get weapon loosely.
Access to gun.
Yeah.
An African country where they try to develop.
Yeah.
They need to tell the investor now this is going to depend bigger.
Absolutely.
Because those investors will go and go to country where they get access to gun. Then they lie on the people Ibrahim. Yeah. Not only forget about say defending APC. How about defending the country image? For me, you talk say the citizens and get access to gun. Then they go with gun, they all machete, then they march gun at State House. This is what
in a post-war country for that matter.
Sorry, come ahead.
Yeah. I say in a post-war country for that matter.
Exactly. Thank
country
you.
And no see the not fair to we then cut people and rape people and
they
post-war country for that matter.
We for the clean image. You Mohammed Sidi Tunis, just because you want to justify the killing of people, you say the citizens are all gone and machete, then they kind of like attack policeman them. The image of the country, we like what you say so comrade, post-war country, whereby then they are now how for the maintain we name, the clean we name, before that we help or destroy them, but just because of una dirty politics. Carry on, Ibrahim, please.
Absolutely, Gashi and comrade. You know, critical points. But look at all of these victims, the August 10 people, when they sentenced to jail today. Honorable Cherikoko is a lawyer, he gets a law firm. He never even go say with the representing people here. Standing by the Constitution, Section 26, will protect the rights of citizens for protest. No, you know, go do And if you look, sadly enough, a lot of these people, some of them, they be all they praise Cherikoko and they dance for him. We like, hey, we lead that with this, with that. They like it and they lock so that they sentence them to jail one every day. When I check the Twitter page of the judiciary, it was elected and they put all things they will see.
The most painful thing, the way then they talk say, then give them people and they be feeding them. Hey Ibrahim, like what be them better than fabulous so.
Can you imagine?
Like when they bury them people and this way they bury their brothers and sisters who died during the August 10, then die in the name of democracy. We always condemn each and everybody who died during the August 10 protest. Equally, just like who condemn the act of killing officers brutally. But who make them kill them to that level? Abraham will not analyze that. Maybe not talk a long ago say the way they kill soldiers in 1990, it also say the people them be wrong for do the manner how they kill brothers and sisters during that 10 day. But what's happened because the amount of atrocity and the amount of harassment humiliation civilians will undergo through the security sector, specifically the military, that emulate for them born soldiers in Africa 1998. Now the same thing happened during the August 10. The killing of people and police they kill people, no more soldiers, they have problem. Now a result to that side, we saw innocent police when they come on duty peacefully, they kind of meet up, them be victim. You know, everybody with that August 10, they're supposed to be treated just like them bury them and give them be fit in funeral. A lot of family members for good. We see Metuni's report say they give them be fit in funeral. People let them go bury. See woman they throw them like dog. Now still dog don't die rotten. There's a good opera. Then the reports nobody know for defend, including Evangelist Samson. This is an insult to all of us humanity. Don't lack Nasalo Ibrahim.
Comrade, you know, Evangelist Samson, Honorable Cheriko could get an opportunity for Tim Abner at the ECOWAS Well of Parliament for putting hand up and say, hey, one of our comrades, a brother that goes by this, aka Evangelist Samson, Hassan Doumbouya, was brutally assassinated, cold-bloodedly in the afternoon. Honorable Cheriko before call Evangelist Samson in name at the ECOWAS Parliament. Say this was a man that was chased 4 days after the protest. Then chase him 4 days after the protest. Then chase him, then shoot him broad daylight from the back. The man they run. They say because he called for protest, he organized a protest. With Section 26 protest. Honorable Chino Majuba should have done that. Comrade Coach, we can go on and on and on. But I think at this particular point, we have to ask our people, Sierra Leoneans, to be genuine to themselves. For let we demand an explanation from the leader of the opposition. What's happening? Usai be there? Why not be there? Na ECOWAS Parliament where left salon say they go. Waiting at this emergency we bring and come salon. Na bury ni begets we want to know because that could be the worst case scenario. For saying a burying na get so I for left for camp for this burying. I don't go for wait now this ECOWAS Parliament. I don't go for wait for listen to this deliberation. We for demand now an explanation, and if we don't get an explanation with the old water, we for ask for the resignation of this man from the Well of Parliament. Fit for day. With everything that has happened, this has nothing to do with anything. Now we practice what is happening now. Look at America, Comrade Cash Box. Cash, matter of fact, I follow up the Supreme Court case now, United Kingdom. They uphold the judgment of the Prime Minister and pass for let people go to Rwanda. Nobody can seek asylum again in the UK. The Supreme Court uphold that. I've been no saying they go lean that side because they want for protected. But now we come to America, right? You know, say
yeah, but Ibrahim, even uphold the court. They still they appeal against them because
exactly
people they say it's wrong. They still they appeal against them. They still hold on to the people. Imagine this country, they don't give order, say let people fly inside plane and they then go pin and say you're not wrong. They still pull. Ibrahim, look what happened in America that they follow Donald Trump. They don't decide for gang, they all vote. Including party that two plan then a party we not give vote for gang criminal charges because of what happened during the August 10 insurrection in America. Including the party, even the 200 no vote, then get them on an ethics committee, let them justify why made they not vote for let them and 4 charges out of the charges, say 4 criminal charges against Donald Trump. You know, sometimes for telling say you know they take your party above the country. Yesterday they don't pass the resolution. We be say if they no confident conclude now, Donald Trump no they ever hold any position again in America. Any in lifetime they will not position again. If they conclude that criminal charges them. Now would they call say proper representation Ibrahim. Imagine the two when they say now Republican they not agree for vote, they scared them on the ethics committee. They say they will explain why they not vote.
Absolutely. You know, so these are the things where they say, what thing they cause this now systems, strong institutions, now protect America and democracy delicate today. And what we need now, Sierra Leone, strong institutions with parliamentarians, them, opposition leaders, them. Therefore, uphold this institution. Therefore, think about the welfare of the people. Therefore, represent Sierra Leoneans very well. You know, we know how we feel. For how we see them, they kill people and chase them. We brother Collabo, they explained to we yesterday, when they arrest LG, the other one, we go beyond for go talk, they arrest themselves, they all and show and say, okay, we arrest una. Anyway, so what thing they do? Then they instill fear into the people. Who they get the responsibility for protecting people? And now the parliament, bo. Now the parliament. The parliament is the supreme legislative authority. Una see another country, they allow few idiots them amongst una. They celebrate. Then people will not deserve for be celebrated. And they talk them back, I talk again. We go for elect with country pass anything else. You know the elect mortal man pass your country. A country that for put above everything else. We for call for an explanation from the leader of the opposition. Some people for demand them. APC supporters, specifically Sierra Leoneans as a whole. People like these, when they represent we, when they do the job, you pay them salary for nothing. We demand an explanation. And if the explanation is not enough, for let man before left ECOWAS Parliament, when for defend the victims them. For defend with democracy, protect Sierra Leoneans them. We don't feel aggrieved for the past 5 years of this SLPP government. So God in this day, then that person is not fit for the job, fit for purpose. This is not about anything, it's nobody. It can be Sorisi say na be in that position. It can be Mantene Mansare na be in that position. It can be Padauda na be in that position. In a Padauda they call. And we'll say for God represent we well. If you don't do the job, get out. If the kitchen too warm, commodity. Come recruit and explain what happened in America now. People are held to higher standards. The reason why we did today, we not get water, clean drinking water. We not get proper hospitals there. We not get proper infrastructure. We not get no discipline. We police them, they suffer. Military, they suffer. Tribalism, nepotism. The reason all of this is because when people get opportunity for protect the constitution and protect with sanctity with democracy, then they relate their duties. They not do their job what they for do. This way we see Honorable Cheno Majuba do so of the APC. This goes to, again, salvaging the name of the SLPP, with the same SLPP from 1964 all the way to today, and then bring all the bad things that were happening in our country. The Honorable Cheriko could not read the TIC report. It was a lawyer at the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. It was if not even the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, but it was a lawyer at the Special Court. Honorable Cheriko knows the affliction, the pains of Sierra Leoneans in our country. He knows how people their hand and cut their hand and cut their foot to them. He know what's happening in Sierra Leone. He know say he gets a responsibility for prevent them not happen. How for do for bring justice to people and we deserve justice. If for stand up for Sierra Leoneans, them represent them well. Protect, if anything, which Honorable Cheno Majuba the talk as a lawyer, the first thing for the always come on I mouth self, he go say, listen, me a lawyer. I worked at the special court. I saw victims. I spoke with victims. I know what it war mean in a country. Because again, Lord, go back, what it caused the rebel war. People and feel say they were oppressed, they were suppressed, corruption. All of these things are happening today in my country. And I will be damned as a young man where I graduated law school. The first job opportunity where I get to come meet up, say special court be there. If I get an opportunity there, I see what happened. I read the testimonies. People are in jail, they like today, like the Ibrahim Bazi Kamara them, where you left all the Augustine Bao them, all these other people where start the rebel war, then free. But people like Ibrahim Bazi Kamara, one green 1 year, nine and do. People like Honorable Cheriko could for stand up self and talk about them things then and say, no, it's enough fair for them in a jail self this hour. The man that when I wish I 1 year no more than come and overthrow government will be the sideline, the military. Honorable Cheriko could know the history better pass me and you. If I stand up and represent the country. All I can say at this point, in a proper democracy, that man does not have a place in our society. And nobody know for condone and encourage that kind of foolishness and nonsense. Come record Takashi, except for now for continue, but only 1 hour. You could left an hour. Let's allow people decide for themselves.
Ibrahim, I just send you a last, like what we're doing at the group.
Okay.
Please, that's how we in the talk say, like Salon are the most, we get the best political tolerance in most countries. Then maybe let me just play the end. Maybe we could continue this and play waiting Mohamed Sidi Tunis talk about Salon, the image we create about Salon. Okay. And again, like this girl will tell you, like the laziness. The fact that like the opposition do not want to speak up, and you don't say what they tell them people here. For make SLPP go, the opposition gets a big role for play for expose the guy there.
Thank you.
But we see day in, day out, Ibrahim, when we talk about like the thievery, the corruption, these people, the Africanist press, they expose this government, nobody not their mind talk about it. When you go to the Liberia report, they talk about the corruption with the Electoral Commission.
Absolutely.
The report says it, but we don't. The Africanist press talk about $10 million when disappear in the Electoral, the ECSL, but nobody not their mind put them inside the report. A report that was kind of like, written in collaboration with Cherry Coco, nothing no they about ECSL. Nothing no they about like how people die, how they kill people, and now people in the be sentenced up by road. Nobody need to talk about it.
Absolutely.
Sorry.
It's pathetic. And you know, and Kashi, you see, I can talk about section 13 of the Constitution, where they talk about the duties of a citizen all the time, right? And you know, there is a particular, you know, area of where even though na section subsection B, now I can read all the time, but la read this other section of let people understand which we talk now. You see, because what's in honorable chair, you remember where you say you know and give the country bad name. You remember after that MCC and one give Salon bad name. You see, that is not patriotism. You know, what you do, you sow and you fan the embers of disaster and trouble for we country. When you say you don't want to do the kind of thing, you look at an example. Subsection C, what you say? It say every citizen shall. This is subsection C of 13 of the Constitution. Every citizen shall protect and preserve public property and prevent the misappropriation and squandering of funds belonging to the government, local authorities, or public corporations. Honorable Cheriko could get a responsibility as a member of parliament for make sure say that $10 million that was squandered by NEC, if you bring and come to the floor of ECOWAS parliament now for can discuss them. China Alpha and Bar of the African Express give we out all this publication. They put them out there. These are the responsibilities of a citizen. So there is nothing patriotic about hiding the truth, especially with that corruption. You say you don't give country bad name. No, you're working for the government. And the government you work for. That's what the people you represent. If you represent the people, if you care about your country. So what I say, if you say America before gladly for prosecute Donald Trump like today, when they don't find and say guilty of insurrection, basically within they find and say guilty of treason. But of course, but you know, the parliament want for left to the judiciary for decide that and insurrection against the state, violent uproar against the state. That's what that nonsense goes to the fasting as alone say insurrection. They use the word insurrection, but poor innocent citizens that they come out for they say they go and protest. When I want to see insurrection, when I go watch the video of the insurrection January 6th, what happened in America. When I go and start with the insurrection. Who I go inside state house? Who I go broke parliament? Who do citizen own a city? You know, Kashi, you say that audio, you say the last one, no, so now you saying?
Yeah, I just said, the last one where the guy go. Let's just, I mean,
we ban talk about water. Like you always remember, because we tend to surround 7 major rivers.
Absolutely.
Apart from 7 major rivers, Kaswok Salon are just 3 months to the get dry season. The rest all are in the camp. Even the capital city, then the boast of boreholes. MP say, I go dig water from me constituency. Remember?
Yeah.
We go in the can the one only go no the top say I go dig water from your constituency. Go like them Mali, they no get river from one river, they no get see. The city Bamako na pump water in the drink. Go Senegal. They no get better water. The city Dakar na pump they no, you know the sea water, you know the sea water itself. All over. Go na country BC get water pass in the city. We now even the city now borehole in the post of boreholes, even the capital city. Imagine
all day.
Kashi, comrade, I'm totally against them borehole there. I've been read something about boreholes. What will they do that research about where water and this and that? Now they find out about these boreholes, this which they could get for cause in the long term. Because what they happen, the foundation, the soil they sink. Gradually, as the water is suckling come out, that layer of the soil, it is sink. So, host and foundation, you get for each point number you host, you see the foundation does it go wrong, it go wrong. Host and get for the collapse pan people because what you do, the soil they lose in rigidity, in strength, in stamina. Like if you will talk about what will happen August 2014, the mudslide we occur up at the mountain. Because of the cuts they tease them, so the soil they become loose. You know, the soil not get stamina, not get strength. So what happen? Every rain come, water come, it just wash everything down. Now that's not the effect of boreholes and water wells them. So for long get the proliferation of these water wells and boreholes all over the country. Over time, it get for affect we back as a people. Let we invest in with water, like how they say cash box. Look, Dubai, Qatar, all of these countries. Then they desalinate them water them from the ocean. Then they supply building. You know what you mean for care water go up now 120-story building?
Yes.
You know how much power that they generate? One grand building inside Dubai as an example, the power enough water for supply the whole of Freetown.
Yes.
One grand building. the power, enough water for supply the whole of Freetown. What a shame.
Yeah.
What a shame on our Sierra Leoneans. Them. They will get leaders, they will go represent we like this, they commodity, then they balance, then cake like for seeing a school and go, they no go land, they run common at school, we school not commodity yet. What's kind of nonsense, Danny? They we the people, they condone this foolishness. But Kashi, I go play this last audio. And then
tell you, now we be the beach wheel and they give me an evil cake. When they be prefect side works. Now they cake way per week.
It's a disgusting, man.
The answer don't become the answer, bro.
You know, let me play this audio like we say, and then tomorrow I'll start the begin up and see the tunes in comment. Let's allow people everything see the tunes say, and then we're going to understand the impact of what we talk about. I'll play these comments real quick.
Israel. You know, any country going into elections, whether it is a first world country or it is a third world country, there must be some tensions because of politics. Because people are fighting for power. They are fighting for power. I'm not a security man like Honorable Zago. But I can tell you that
Because you see the fast forward. Now the last audio we come or
the kind of political tolerance
okay, I don't get that.
That we have in Sierra Leone. Trust me, we don't have it in most countries, because we don't say anywhere else. Sierra Leone is the only country, as I speak to you, Madam Speaker and honorable members, we do not have any.
It's the very last one, Ibrahim, but if not, we can play it some other time.
Yeah, not the last one. Yes, I get that now. Yeah. They talk about Salon are the most politically tolerant country past Boku country. What a shame! What a disgrace!
Yeah, countries, because we don't say anywhere else. That we have in Sierra Leone. Trust me, we don't have it in most countries, because we don't say.
Larry, why not? The people
Sierra Leone, the kind of political tolerance.
The kind of political tolerance.
Trust me, we don't have it in most countries, because we don't say anywhere else. Sierra Leone is the only country, as I speak to you, Madam Speaker and honorable members, we do not have any political detainees. None. Zero.
All right. We don't get no political detainee. Sierra Leone are the most politically tolerant country. Some people, they want to decide. When I get country with politically tolerant, we want to come out for protest. In as much as we be always say we not support that protest day, but still, protest on a democratic right, regardless of who I come out, I not be. Nobody know for be killed because they protest. It inside the constitution, it's protected, section 26. But still, una feel so that got a politically tolerant country. If Honorable Chino Majubabi did at the ECOWAS Parliament, is on the this foolishness with this guy they talk, so they don't for talk him because they don't say Honorable Chinoba before respond. That is, if you begin the gumption and the guts for respond. But you know, we they begin this conversation also when that's when they begin.
Na party there. We make party go down, go up skit to you really dance. But salon I read the rubber bra.
Let fans so Kashi. Tomorrow we continue. We continue this year. This foolishness for dawn. What's kind of nonsense is to go bribe newspaper and for go talk foolish and nonsense like for say people are stupid and go into cash boxing point. You go beat me, slap me, but not insult me integrity. Nonsense. One of them newspaper, go get any newspaper $100 and they write for you cash box. Anything you want, they write. Go get it. $100, only a pound. And they write anything you want. Yes.
Yeah.
We not get integrity, but this is what in poverty they do. Instead of whole government they accountable for not fix our country, let the media able for make money for ourselves, not become independent enough. Politician. You go write foolish now in newspaper and for big full international community. And down a lie. With the counter all in writing in the back. When I wait no more foolishness. Let's continue this tomorrow. Bye bye everybody.